helps me a little bit. So I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Richard. I'm the iLounge manager on board. And I'm telling you, for the next 10 days, you're in for something very different than you've seen before. Have any of you cruised with me before? Okay. Yeah. If you've cruised with me before, number one, you know I can never replicate a single class twice. So you're going to see something completely different than you've seen before. I always like to stay on the near cutting edge, given my phone and given all my other gadgets like that. But this is not what you've seen before. And I want to give you a little, and if you've never cruised with me before, the people that have cruised with me before know what you're going to deal with. But we talk about the past, the present, and the future of technology. Now I'm going to tell you, today there was a misprint in the daily program, but I'm going to roll with it. I was off the ship picking up my iPhone. They printed in the daily program. It's a 5-part series to discover. Now that's something I normally just do on the transatlantic, but guess what? I'm going to do it this cruise as well. So it's going to be a 5-part series that's going to grow on the past, the present, and the future of technology. But I know I'm holding an iPhone right now, and I know not everyone in this room has an Apple product. Some of you have Samsung products. Anybody Samsung people? You can be honest. Okay, here's the good news. Samsung Note 8 as well. So I use both of them. Now I do need to. The safety officer has told me that since I have pulled out a Samsung Note device, I must point out the nearest fire extinguisher station, which should be located right inside of that safety panel right there. So you are nominated as the closest person to the fire extinguisher if the Note were to catch fire. Now this is the Note 8, not the Note 7. And these are very similar phones. I'll tell you one of the nice things, when we're talking about the past, the present, the future, one of the things the new iPhones all lack is a headphone jack. And we'll get to that, because I think it's very interesting. One of the things the Samsung phones still have is a headphone jack. You know why? They need somewhere to let off the steam. So that's why the Samsung phones have a headphone jack. So I always keep an Android phone in my left pocket and an iPhone in my right pocket, and I have to make a decision when I go outside. I have to take a wallet and put it in one of those 2 pockets. So I will tell you, for the last 2 weeks, my outside phone has been my Samsung phone. But this one's now newer than this one, so this will be the outside phone. So the goal of today is it's a conversation about the past, the present, and the future when it comes to technology. So I want to check. We have some of us have iPhones, some of us have Android phones, and I've got the proportion there. How many of us that have iPhones have upgraded to iOS 11? Okay. There's no reason not to. I've been running it for 6 months. The secret, I say, is don't do it on board the ship. Why I say that is because then you don't have a backup of your information. So you don't have a backup of your information. Now we're going to go over with a lot of different things, but one thing I want to make very clear is I'm not an Apple or an Android person. I'm both, but there's one piece of glue that holds everything together. And if you've cruised with me before, what's the piece of glue that I use to hold everything together? Google. Google. Everybody that's sitting in this room, the Android people already have one, but everybody that's sitting in this room, hopefully by the end of this cruise, you will be convinced that you need to get a Gmail account. It is something your kids have been talking about for a long time. I do a class on the first day because I want to show you some things. I'm wearing them in my vest. I've got a couple of different things I want to go through, and I want to show you when it comes to all this different tech and things like that. But one of the things is, when we're talking about the past, the present, and the future of technology, I had someone a little bit earlier come to me. I don't know if they're here. They said they had Rogers as their email provider. And Rogers, if you know, Rogers is a Canadian email provider. They're a local email provider in Canada. The equivalent would be BT, Comcast, given your respective regions. Those would be the equivalents. I haven't even set this phone to not go with the screen off. Let's do that. I didn't think about this. Display brightness. That's why it keeps going off. There we go. So the equivalent would be these local providers. And this is something that's going to sound absolutely crazy, but I hope you'll understand in 10 days, those companies aren't going to exist much longer. You're not going to have home internet much longer. Let's be completely honest. Those of you who have mobile devices, most of your computing is done on the mobile device nowadays. So it's done in apps, it's done in different things like that. So that's where we're headed. And I want to go ahead, and I want to get started. Let's just go to the one sticky situation in the room, which I consider to be headphones. Headphones. Audio jacks. I can guarantee that now with Apple, the present is there's no headphone jacks on the iPhones. I would be a very wise betting man to say on the next version of the iPad, there will not be a headphone jack. Because all a headphone jack is a hole for something to get into. It is also, have any of you ever broken your screen before on your device? Broken your screen on your iPhone, your iPad, anything like that? If you've broken your screen, it's also a place that's a hollow point in your phone, and if you drop it, guess what happens? It breaks the screen. So the less holes you can have, the better. And most Android phones now, other than Samsung, are coming out without the headphone jack in them. So what replaces it? Have any of you ever used Bluetooth before? I'm sure you've used it in the car. Am I right in that assumption? You might have used it in the car. You might have used it different places. Bluetooth is really, really cool. Now, I know everybody in this room, I would assume, has used Wi-Fi before, right? We've all used Wi-Fi before. No? You've never used Wi-Fi? Oh my.
I don't use anything.
But you've seen Wi-Fi. You know what it is, right?
Yes.
So Wi-Fi is when you have something and it talks to your device. I'll give you an example. We don't have a visible Wi-Fi router in this room, but for you to understand, what I want you to do, the Wi-Fi router for my mobile phone right here, the one on the ship, is that little white box right there on the wall. So you see that little white box that's up there by the under the exit sign? Now what that is that is a piece of hardware that talks to my phone. The difference between Wi-Fi and Bluetooth is like Wi-Fi, but goes between two mobile devices. Does that make sense? Generally, it goes between two devices that are mobile. And we've probably used Bluetooth, I would assume, in our cars before. Am I correct in that assumption? A lot of us have used Bluetooth in our cars before. But how many of us used a pair of headphones before? I'm sure everyone has. You've never used a pair of headphones? Oh my. Welcome to the headphone generation. I don't think I have enough headphones here. But what I want to show you is I want to show you where a lot of this is headed in the future, because I think it's really cool. And you say, you know, not my future. I like home internet. I like using a computer. I like doing all that. I hope some of you see this future. I hope some of you get to see this future. I didn't say that probably. I hope some of you get to see this future. But I mean, this is where the future is headed. So these are some different pairs of Bluetooth headphones. These will work with Android as well as iPhone and iPad and all those others, but they have some really cool tricks up their sleeve. Now, if you ever used Bluetooth before, you have to go in, you have to go to settings, you have to go to Bluetooth, you have to set it up. It's really annoying to go in and do all that. Here's what's really cool about these headphones. You just take the headphones, and I can do this with any of your devices. I get them anywhere near the device, turn it on, and automatically what pops up without me touching anything, if it wants to behave, should be, hey, hey. This is just because I want to show you. Hey, hey. This is what happens when you try and show new cool tech. Let's try that one more time. Ah, there we go. Comes up my headphones. Now it's because I'm projecting it to a screen and doing everything like that. Now I'm not going to connect because it'll disconnect from the screen. Now, out of all my headphones I've ever had, these are my absolute favorite ones because if you've ever had headphones before, you know, you put them in your pocket. You crunch them. You've never had headphones. I don't know why I'm looking at you. You put them in your pocket. You crunch them up. Whoa. You do different things like that. What I like about this is all day, they just sit around my neck. So they just sit around my neck all day. Like that. When I get a phone call, this is my mom's favorite pair of headphones too. I'm going to call my mom in a few minutes, you'll see. But my mom just goes like this, pops it in her ear, has the phone call, drops it down. Now to take it even further, my mom doesn't answer that phone call from her phone. You know where she answers that phone call from? Her watch. My mom, I turned her into a nerd, but she still has an AOL account. So I've been working on that for years. She's got an Apple Watch, she's got an iPhone, she's got an iPad, she's got a MacBook, and she's still got an AOL account. But the cool thing is, this is the present of headphones. You know, when you didn't have, and these are pretty sniffy, pretty snazzy. I like them, and I use them with my Android phone. So this is one of the things that stays standard. If I go out with my iPhone or I go out with my Android phone, I go out with these headphones. But this is the present in headphones. I want to show you two things that are the future in headphones. Now, one of these you may have heard of before. Got to find it in the correct pocket. And the other one, I got to figure out which pocket I put it in. I got a lot of pockets here. I'll find it eventually. It's in a pocket. But these are really cool. These are called AirPods. And these will work with iPhone, these will work with Android, these will work with any of the devices you want. But here's what's really cool. It looks like a case of dental floss. They actually make stickers that you can put on your AirPods case and make it look like a thing of dental floss. But if I go right here, I just take the case, pop it open, and inside are two little earbuds. And here's where technology really gets quite interesting. I've got these two little earbuds. I pop them out, and they're completely wireless. So they're completely wireless, and they'll work for 5 hours on a single charge. So these little earpods, as they call them, are completely wireless. They work for 5 hours on a single charge. But here's where the innovation comes into play. When these die, put them in the case, This case will charge the ear pods up 5 more times. So you have wireless headphones that you can use all week, let's be honest, that you can use all week. And he's got a question? You've got a hand up? What?
I'd like to get those.
You'd like to get those. Yeah, there's still a couple-month waiting period for these. I'd love to get them for you. Now, the thing is, I packed this jacket before oh, here we go. I packed this jacket before I came. Now, for the next thing I want to show you, though, I showed you, so that's the present, the thing I put around my neck. You know, that's the future, but I want to show you the real future. And to do that, I need someone who has hearing aids. Is there anybody who has hearing aids in here? It's usually not that hard to find. Okay, there we go. So, we got my friend who's never used headphones that has hearing aids. And here's one of the biggest problems. Now, some of you that have hearing aids might have a Bluetooth on their hearing aids that does all those things. But, you know, you can't, if you have hearing aids, you can't put in a pair of headphones. You can't. Just don't try. You're going to break your hearing aids. You can't put in a pair of headphones. So I think where headphones are going that's really, really cool is something called bone conduction. And I know none of you have ever heard of this before, because here's what's cool. I take these earphones, right? I take these headphones here, set them on my temple right here, and I can hear audio inside of my skull. It sounds absolutely crazy, but the coolest thing is it works absolutely fantastically. So, after the class, I'll stick around for a few minutes after class, and if you want to hear these, I highly recommend you, because what's cool is there's no audio that comes from it. It actually just vibrates your skull. And this is the future. These are, yeah, you think it's crazy. You never got to even try these before, because I was under a non-disclosure agreement on them last year. So I've had them for about a year or two, but I haven't been able to talk about them until 2 weeks ago. So they're really quite cool. If I demo them now, just one person's going to see it, but you're welcome to take a look. Now, when we're talking about that, you know, you got the past, the present, the future of headphones. But the next thing we have to talk about, if you have a phone, I'm sure we all have a smartphone. We go out, we take pictures on it all day and stuff like that. And the biggest problem, or if you have an iPad, you go out, you take pictures of it all day. Battery life, charging, annoying things like that. And here's the question. I mean, a lot of you are probably going to go out. Where are we going? We're going to Lisbon. Anybody we're all going out in Lisbon, hopefully. But if you're going out in Lisbon, you might go out on a long tour. You might go out on an all-day tour. You know how long this phone's going to last you? Not all day. It's not going to last you all day. If you're taking pictures, if you're doing different things like that, if you're using maps, which is where we're going to go in a couple minutes with this, it's not going to last you all day. So I highly recommend you take a look into, got this in my pocket as well. I'll tell you what I'm wearing in a minute. This is just a portable power bank. So you can take this and you can plug your phone right in. So you take your cable, you plug into the wall, you put it there. This is a big boy. You don't need something this big. This will charge my phone 10 times. There's no reason to have one this big. But here's the thing. When I bring this thing out, when I go out and pour it, am I the single most popular person because I have things that everybody can charge with? Let me see. I have a gadget here. The thing is, this is... Actually, I didn't show you my backpack while we're having this discussion. Why not show you my backpack? I'm blown without a backpack. My backpack's one of those things I'm not supposed to talk about, but I will. But here's the thing. You have an iPad. You have an older iPad. No. Okay, so you have an iPad. Yeah. No, you don't have an old one. As long as it has the small connector, it's not considered old. But I have this one single cable. I'm going to show you this on the screen. So I have this one single cable right here. Now she's got an older iPad right here. So I can say older. I'm not calling it old. Borrow your iPad for a second. And if I wanted to, I can take her iPad and I can plug in, show you on video, I can plug in her iPad. And her iPad should be charging. But where a lot of this tech's going, well, I've charged her iPad, well, where's my person with an Android phone? You've got an Android phone, right? You were one of the guys with an Android phone.
I'm afraid so, but it's currently locked away in my room.
Okay, we're just talking in theory, though. If you had an Android phone, guess what? You can take this guy, swivel him around, and guess what we've got? We've got a charger for an iPhone. We've got a charger for an Android phone. We've got a charger for a new Android phone. We've got all of these things. That's where a lot of this stuff is headed. And let's say, for example, this is one of the nerdier things I own, but it's okay. I'm coming clean about it, so it's cool. My backpack has a battery pack. I should really empty out my boat drill stuff in the backpack. That was yesterday. But it has a battery pack built into the backpack. Which you go, So you just take your backpack with you. Let me put this on so you can see. I keep the battery right in the back of the backpack. And then wherever I am, see if I can show you this guy really. I shouldn't put him on. I've got it right here. And I can take my USB port and plug him in right into the USB port. And then I've got a charge. So I've got that one cable that does absolutely everything. What I'm trying to do, a lot of this stuff I don't sell on board. I'd love to. I'm trying to broaden your horizons when it comes to tech, when it comes to different things like that, to understand where a lot of these things are headed. But now it's time for a bit of a hands-on thing. What I want you to do, if you have your device on you, go ahead and pull it out and open up the camera. I want to talk about the camera on your device. You got, what do you got?
I didn't bring it.
You got nothing, okay. Here. Here's the device now. If I get any text messages from a girl,
Read them aloud.
read them aloud. You are correct. Okay, so you can take that one. Oh, I got another one. If she's cute. If she's not cute, I don't want to hear about it. So, here, just to show you. I want to see if I want everybody that can possibly have a device, go ahead and take a picture of me. There's a reason for this. Because most of us are doing it wrong. You actually did it right.
You told us last
Bless your
time.
headphones. Bless your headphones. You did it right. Now, when we're taking a picture with an iPhone or a tablet, we're going to see. You got it? You got it? Yeah, you got it. With an iPhone or a tablet or an Android phone or whatever, what happens is a lot of us will naturally take the picture as we normally hold the device. What I mean by that is, I saw a lot of you take the picture like this. I want you to watch the side screens, because do you agree those side screens are very much like our televisions at home? They are giant home televisions. You see, when I take a picture and it's up and down, I only fill about 1/3 of the screen. If I take a picture and it's sideways, though, I fill a much larger portion of the screen. Because generally, you're not going to look at the picture back on a phone screen. Now, the young people would disagree with me. What I mean by the young people, they'd say, oh, Snapchat, this, that, it all works that way. But you generally want to take a picture in this way. But it's a very specific way. Not only do you want to take it in this way, so if you have an iPhone, you want to make sure your phone, iPhone or iPad, your device is sideways with the camera at the top. Okay, this is important. If you have an Android phone, you want to make sure your device is sideways with the charging port on the right. So the charging port in your right hand. If you take a picture or if you take a video this way, the picture gets sent upside down. If you take a video, the video gets sent upside down. I'm sure we all know how to go up and say, edit, rotate 90 degrees on a picture, and then go up again and say, edit, rotate 90 degrees on a picture, and guess what we've done? But have you done it with a video before? It's really annoying. So you want to make sure you do that. So 99% of the time, we should be taking our pictures this way. There are always exceptions to the rule. One exception to the rule is the Leaning Water Bottle of Pisa. I don't know. About there. Now, I can't get the Leaning Water Bottle of Pisa going like this. So you naturally always want to try and take a picture in this way. But we're going to go, and we can take a picture in that way. But videos must 100% of the time be taken in this way. Now, tomorrow, we're going to talk about all kinds of different tech as it relates to photos and videos. We have a camera class. We're going to be talking about taking better pictures with your smartphones or your tablets. So tomorrow, take the phone out of the cabin. We're going to be on the phones the entire time. The phones, the tablets, whatever you happen to have. Problem is, this is the past and the present. But where does the future of smartphone cameras go? Anybody think they have an idea?
3D.
3D is kind of I'm not a big fan of 3D because some people can't see 3D, but you're close. It's 360. So I think that's what you were leaning towards. But 360 is really the future of these. And what's really cool is there's a company, and I'm going to need those guys a bit later, so I'll take those guys back for a minute. There's a company that actually you might have never heard of before, but I guarantee you every single one of you in this room has a product from that company. It's called Foxconn. And you look at me and go, huh? That's the company that builds everything in China. They build the iPhones, they build the Samsungs, they build all those other gadgets right in China. It's called Foxconn. And I actually came across this product I'm about to show you in St. Martin. Have any of you ever gone electronic shopping in St. Martin? My friend, come, I give you a good price, almost free. But all the little shops that sell electronics, they provide free Wi-Fi, but you know what they block? They block Amazon. Talking about Amazon. Now this is a product you're not going to see in stores, but you can pick up on Amazon in the US and in the UK, and maybe in Canada. If not, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm Canadian. No, I'm not Canadian, but you know, Canadians always apologize. So, it's true. This is called the Insta360 Nano. It's one of the coolest little gadgets that I've seen in a long time. I just take this little camera right here, pop him in to the bottom of my phone. I just installed the app the other day. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play with the iPhone 8. We're going to find out in about, it will work. It's called the Insta360 Nano, and you have to hold your phone upside down. I'm going to have to go through this thing and go. I have not automatically, we can synchronize. And now I have a 360-degree camera. Yeah, I know how this phone works. I have a 360-degree video. Now you'll see, I can see all of you. But at the same time I'm looking at all of you, I can see myself as well. So I can take 360-degree video, I can take 360-degree photos. Not only can I do that, but I can take 360-degree live video. And you probably saw my 360-degree hurricane video that I posted. We're Facebook friends. So I was in Miami a few weeks ago when the hurricane came through. I took my phone, set it up on a tripod in the backyard, and broadcast the hurricane live happening in my backyard. That was a little adventurous, but my phone's waterproof. And I found out that this thing's pretty waterproof because it still works. But I can go in, I can take videos, I can take all these things. Let's go ahead and let's just take, I'm going to take a video real quick because I want to show you where this is headed. So I can take a video, and it's not just capturing what's in front of me, it's capturing me as well. The only thing it misses is right where the phone is, because obviously it can't look directly down and see where the phone is. But I have a full 360-degree image of what's going on. But I think the question is, okay, here's the 360-degree image. How do you go ahead then and look at that 360-degree image? Valid question. So if I wanted to play it back, well, I can play it back just like this. It's capturing what's in front of me. It's capturing me as well. And when I'm going back and I'm looking, I can see what's going on. But this is why, what I'm about to show you is why I actually show this product, because I love it when companies really innovate. This is the box the product comes in. What you do is you take your phone and you put it inside of the box. And it's not just capturing what's in front of me, it's capturing. And the box has lenses inside of it, and I can see exactly what's going on with my phone. This is how well thought through this gadget is. And here's the thing I want you to understand about this. A lot of these gadgets I'm showing you because of the future of tech, but you're not going to see them in stores for years. Can you buy them? Yes. Just to get something on the shelf at an Apple store, or a John Lewis, or a Tesco, is tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds or whatever fictional money we want to go ahead and we want to talk about. It's a lot of money to get them on the shelf in the stores, and that's why you're not going to see this for a very long time. Now, if you're from the UK, I know a lot of us are from the UK, if you have your device, I'm sure you should keep it in a case of some sort. I got this case yesterday. This is very nerdy. I love this case. I wait until I go to the UK to get these cases. This is from a company called Gear 4. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company Gear 4. They're a UK-based company. I can't find it in the US because they haven't paid enough to get in the US. And if I turn on my phone right here, I want to show you this, and then we're going to call my mom just about her. You see there's that orange strip right there in the phone? So that orange strip is very interesting technology that's actually patented by this company. It's called a non-Newtonian fluid. And you're looking at me, you're going, Have any of you ever played with corn, and this is a weird question to ask this demographic, have any of you ever played, maybe with grandkids, of cornstarch and water before? If you take cornstarch and you take water, you mix them together, if you hit that mixture really hard, well, let's go with quicksand. Basically, quicksand is a non-Newtonian fluid as well. If you struggle to get out of quicksand, guess what you're going to do? You're going to sink deeper. If you do nothing and just sit there, guess what? You're just going to go there. So this is a soft, flexible material But when it hits something, it becomes hard. It's actually really crazy, and I've taken this. I was demonstrating this last cruise in the iLounge. I took it, I banged this plastic case against the wall, and I took a chunk out of the wall. I shouldn't be publicly saying this, because they're going to want me to fix the wall. But they already fixed the wall, but I took a chunk out of the wall, even showing that. And this is where a lot of this technology is headed. A lot of these things are headed. And, you know, you've got a case, you've got that. Unfortunately, on the new iPhones, and on the new Android phones as well, you have a glass front screen. And guess what you now have on the new iPhones? They've been on the Androids for a while. You also have a glass back. Now, the question is, you know, you've got a glass front, you've got a glass back, you've got a case. And the question is, why? Wireless charging. Really, really, really awesome. I have not plugged my phones. Notice I didn't say phone. I've not plugged my phones into charge in the longest time because I have this little base. This is right here right in my cabin. I took it out of my cabin. I'll bring it up and show it to you. And I got these 3 little plus signs. Now this is the one that's taking the video of the class. Let me go ahead and pull this out here as far as I can. It's got these 3 little plus signs on it. And I just take a phone and I drop it right there. And guess what it does? It goes ahead and wirelessly charge. Now most of you have never seen wireless charging out in the wild before. This is not a perfect scenario because I'm putting it on the screen so I get to play. Most of you have probably not seen, come on. Did I unplug it? I unplugged it. But most of you have not seen wireless charging out in the wild because here's the thing, not many phones have supported it. Now that the iPhone supports it, is it going to be everywhere? The answer is yes. I don't know why. I think the rocking of the chip might have knocked the power out on the back of the stage because I don't have power right now on this guy. But generally, I'd put it right here on the charge. Any guess where this comes from? Come on. Now try again. Where was breakfast this morning? Yesterday morning?
Yeah.
IKEA. IKEA now makes furniture with built-in wireless charging. And here's the nicest thing ever. Wireless charging is now a universal standard. That means if you have an iPhone that supports wireless charging, and you have an Android phone that supports wireless charging, and you have a Windows phone for some reason, which I have, that supports wireless charging, guess what? They all work. If you have a BlackBerry that supports wireless charging, you don't, because BlackBerries are not good phones. But that's another story.
How about Apple Watch?
Aha! Gordon asks a good point. He says, how about the Apple Watch? So the Apple Watch uses its own special type of wireless charging. The Apple Watch 1 and the Apple Watch 2 are proprietary. The Apple Watch 3 does use the standard wireless charging. Where's my friend in the back that said she wanted this guy? She's sleeping. Here's where this gets cool, is they're going to make a wireless charging case for the earphones. So you just set down the earphone case on the wireless charger, you pick it up the next morning, and you've got the 24 hours on there. Wireless charging, this is the one thing I can make you guarantee. If you buy a phone 2 years from now, it will be impossible, even in the $100 range for phones, it will be impossible to buy a phone without wireless charging in the next 2 years. Because when Apple does it, the economies of scale go down and things are going to get a lot more popular. I'll show it a little bit later on, but the rocking in the back kind of knocked the power cable out of the hole there. Now, next thing I want to talk about, communications. We're talking about communications, and then I'm going to show you something with photos, and then we're going to be good for the day, but I'll let you know what else is going on. Communications, if you're on a ship, if you're out of your country, if you're out of the country, how do you contact people? You still using email? Email, in my opinion, is one of the worst ways to contact people. Because let's be honest, our email is filled with junk. Oh, Donald Trump just tweeted. This happens during the classes all the time. Thank you, FEMA. If you don't have it, I highly recommend, if you're American, if you're not American, you install the Twitter app just to watch Donald Trump's tweets. Now, this first tweet, you're going to see within 3 or 4 minutes there's going to be a new tweet that comes out with the correct grammar on it, because his assistant figures out when he tweets, and then deletes the tweet, and then puts out a new tweet with the thing spelled correctly. It's not a joke. That's dead serious. So you'll see another tweet come out in the next few minutes. It'll just pop up on my screen. But the way I communicate with people, and Gordon very well, is Facebook Messenger. If you ever want to get in touch with me, I use Facebook Messenger. That's my main method of communication. And when I'm using Facebook Messenger, when I'm using things like that, do I need a phone anymore? What you'll notice is, this is my iPhone. I just got it yesterday. Let's play a fun game. It's not going to be that hard. It's called Find the Phone app. Where is it? It's in a folder called Crapple. Crap from Apple that I don't use. It's my Crapple folder. But the main thing I use, the main way I communicate with people is with Facebook Messenger. Now I want to make this very, very clear. Facebook Messenger is not Facebook. It is Facebook, but it's not that big thing where you post pictures of yourself and you post pictures of all these things. Facebook Messenger is just a communications platform. If you use an iPhone, you may use iMessage, you know, the Messages application. If you use an Android phone, you might use Google Chat or something like that. What I love about Facebook is it's truly cross-platform. So I can use almost everything I've shown you today. I can use it on my iPhone, I can use it on my iPad, I can use it on my Windows computer, I can use it on my Mac. I can use it on whatever I want. So if I just open up Facebook Messenger, my mom was telling me to get a flu shot. The last time we were talking, she goes, "I am home. By the way, check if the ship has a flu shot. I got mine last week." I'm like, check last week. Not yet. But here's the cool thing. Inside of Facebook Messenger, there's a tiny little phone. And if I hit on that tiny little phone, guess what I can do? I can call my mom. I don't know if she said she's home now. I haven't been calling her. Come on. She won't pick up. I told her I was going to call her on the normal phone, but I went a little further out. Call her on Facebook Messenger. You want to answer, Mom? Okay, here we go. Hello, Mother.
Hello, Alexa, turn radio on.
Okay. So, you'll learn about Alexa a bit later on, but I'm chatting with my mom. You can't turn Alexa off. Yeah, well, I don't have Alexa here right now. I'll have Alexa later. I know you have to turn her off. I'm trying to figure out where the speaker is here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can show them Alexa if you want. Oh, look, there's the dogs. Tyler! Tyler, Tyler! Tyler! There's Tyler. The duck toller. We'll take a look at him a bit later on. But here's the cool thing. All I need is some sort of connectivity, and I can do this. I don't have to worry if I have cell phone service, cellular at sea, all those other things. What shirt are you wearing, Mother? Is that the Edge shirt? Oh, God. She's wearing the Celebrity Edge shirt that I got her. Those are not available for the general public yet, so don't even go to guest relations. I want an Edge shirt! No. I smuggled her an Edge shirt. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. Stop eating. How are your circles doing? Okay, bye, Tyler. Bye. What do you have? You have what? Oh, you have Toy Story on your watch. I have it too. Okay, bye. Just so you know what she was talking about, the cool thing is if you have an Apple Watch, now you can get the Toy Story characters on your watch. And I have every time I go up, I get a different character. So there's Buzz Lightyear. There's Buzz Lightyear, and if I tap it, Woody and Buzz do different things.
Oh.
It's cute. Yeah. It's going to be really cute when Apple buys Disney in a few years. I think I just made a statement I shouldn't have made. Okay, so, I mean, that's where a lot of tech goes. But I just did that over a standard Wi-Fi connection on a ship in the middle of rough seas. Sent a conversation with my mom. Now, if you try and make a phone call, or you try and send an email with AOL, or you try and send an email with Yahoo, it's going to sit there forever. That's the truth, but I just made a live video call. I'm not cheating. I'm just using standard celebrity Wi-Fi. Made a video call to my mom. And it's really, really quite cool. I want to end with Google Photos, but I forgot something. There's one app I showed last cruise, and literally I got more questions about this app than anything else, and everyone loved this app, okay? It's called Maps.me. It works on iPhone and Android. MAPS.me.
I just put that on my phone today.
Who told you about that?
A friend.
A friend? Okay.
She's on the ship here.
So it was originally used by drug dealers, so you might want to choose your friends closely or more closely. But it's called Maps.me. Free application, and the coolest thing it is it is offline mapping that you can use while you're in the ports. Now, I know what some of you are about to say, and I'm going to tell you you're going to be in for a very, 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 very rude awakening if you believe this fact. You go, well, my EU carrier says I have roaming all over the EU and it just works everywhere. It should. Does it? Not really. I've noticed that, yeah, Lisbon, you'll be fine. When we go to Tenerife, when we go to Madeira, when we go to these smaller places, when you bring on a ship of 5,000 people, because I'm counting the crew as well, because they all have 3 SIM cards. You bring on a ship of 5,000 people, what do you think that does to the cell network in that area? Flatlines it completely, I'm telling you. But what's really cool about this Maps.me is you can download maps to use them offline. So, and it gives you navigation directions as well. So if you're trying to walk off the ship, you're trying to go to somewhere. So let's go ahead and let's look for T-E-N-E-R, I don't want T-N-E, how do you spell reef? R-I-F-E? Tenerife, as in Australia. No, I can't spell it. Let's go M-A-D-E-R, Madeira, okay. So if I click in Madeira, Mexico, there's a lot of Madeiras. Okay, L-I-S-B-O-N, there's only one of those. So I type in Lisbon, what I do is you'll see here's Lisbon on the map. There's a base map of the world, and when I zoom in just a little bit, I can download all of Portugal South. And I hit download. Now why this used to be used, the drug dealer thing was actually not a joke. Both this and WhatsApp were originally used in South America to run drugs. And then they were bought by larger companies and cleaned up for a more clean purpose. So you see, I'm actually downloading the entire south side of Portugal. I'm at 23%. And I'm going to have that fully downloaded in the next 30 seconds or so. And then I can offline have all those places I want. I've learned that I can't spell the destinations of map. So you can map, you can go around, you can do all these things. My mom doesn't understand, she shouldn't keep messaging me. Now I not only have one watch, I have 2 watches. Because I carry 2 phones. But people go, why do you have 2 watches? They don't know I carry 2 phones. They say, it looks like you have a lot of time on your hands. That's a bad one. But if I go in, I'll let it finish downloading right there. And then once I have it finished downloading, I can type in some random place in Lisbon. Where do I want to go? Oh, McDonald's. Yeah, that's right. They serve beer in McDonald's. All the bars in Lisbon close at 2. We have an overnight. This is why I know this information. All the bars in Lisbon close at 2 a.m. And then some of you are like 2 a.m. But and then I'm like 6 a.m. Who wakes up at 6 a.m.? So don't worry. All of those close at 2, but McDonald's is open until 3:30. So if you want to continue drinking, I go route 2, and then I type in where I want to route to, and I can say MACDONALDS, and I can get into the McDonald's drive-thru, and it'll tell me exactly how to walk to the McDonald's drive-thru. I can find anything, and here's the coolest thing. I do not need to have internet to use this once I've downloaded this. This will work on all phones, but will only work on iPads that have GPS. How you know if your iPad has GPS? If your iPad has the ability to do cellular, then it will work. If your iPad does not have the ability to do cellular, well, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, just bring me your iPad and I'll tell you. So don't waste your time downloading on one that doesn't have the ability to do cellular. Now, I have a lot of different things I want to show you, but there's one overall thing that's been my top thing I've been talking. Oh, Donald Trump recorded again. Record high for the S&P 500. Okay. But there's one thing that is my favorite app. It is still my favorite app. I love this app, probably more than any other app I've ever used. And I want to show it to you because I'm sure this is something that's happened to all of us before. We've bought a device that's too small. And we're going to talk about how you can add more storage space to your iPhone, to your iPad, your Android. You know, you put in a little SD card and you've got that. But how you can add the space. But still, for the last 2 years, this has been my absolute favorite app. It's called Google Photos. If you've cruised with me before, you've probably heard me beat this to oblivion. But it's okay. I've got some new stuff for this cruise, but I've got to introduce all the other ones. I want to show you a problem that you've likely had before with your device.
Okay, just like that.
Am I getting everybody in it?
I'm going to take a picture this time, ready?
1,
2, 3. I missed it. Do it again.
Ready, set, go! the Leaning Tower of Pisa all by yourself.
Take as many photos as you want without running out of space. Introducing Free Up Space. Never run out of storage again with Google Photos.
And in this world, my mom always says, when something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Who of you in this room have been using Google Photos that I've told you about? Is it too good to be true, or does it actually work?
It actually works.
It actually works, okay? I have a testimonial here. It actually works. I want to give you the concept. We're going to go a lot deeper into this later, but imagine all of your pictures from your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, your Windows, your Mac computer backed up in one place for free. Because let's be honest, where's your phone? I've already phone. I'm not going to destroy it, don't worry. I'm going to destroy it, don't worry. No. But if you had this phone and it fell off the side of the ship, you'd have a lot of information on here that you cared about, right? But generally, the things that are unique on your phone, I got my new iPhone yesterday. All I had to do to get all my information back was I went ahead and I signed into my Gmail account on my phone, I put on Google Photos, I turned it on, and I had everything moved over. And it didn't cost me a dime. It's not like iCloud. How many of you are paying for iCloud? Let's be honest. You won't be paying for iCloud after this is over. So I get all of my pictures. I'm going to show you how this works a bit later on. All of my pictures sorted out automatically and searchable. Now, you saw the dog earlier. He is a Nova Scotia duck toller. So I can type in duck toller. And I never told Google Photos what a duck toller is. And I should get my picture of a Nova Scotia duck toller. There's Tyler the toller. And I can look at it over time. So that's Tyler the toller as an adult dog, but I should have Tyler the toller as a puppy. Give it a second. And I can actually look at him over time. Now it will find, wait, it's in here. But I've actually got him going to the bathroom as a puppy, taking a number 2. But I can go in and I can search for anything. And I can search for not just items, but I can search for people as well. So I'm going to tell you one of my absolute favorite places, because we're going to Lisbon. Richard Lisbon ice cream. And what's cool is I can scroll down, and this is me in Lisbon eating ice cream. Now it automatically figured out that's Richard. Now I will tell you the name of my ice cream place. It's right off the main square. I love it. It's called, let's get it Richard. It's called Lisbon Ice Cream. It's the only place I eat ice cream in Lisbon. It's called Nostra Italia. I don't make any money by telling you this. But there's my there's the starting ice cream bowl. That's called the Copa Kiwi. And there's the finished ice cream bowl. That's called the Copa No More Kiwi. But it's really, really good. I go there every single time. Here's all the different types of ice cream they have. But here's the thing I need you to understand. I never told it that I was in Lisbon. I never told it that I was eating ice cream. Google Photos was smart enough to know that. And that's what's really, really, really cool. So it can free up space, it can move things over. And I'm going to show you a couple different promos for Google Photos. And we're going to get started on Google Photos specifically on the sea days later in the cruise after Lisbon. We're going to have some smaller classes on that. Now, it is the only app I will spend an hour and a half myself teaching. It is the only Google Photos class in the world. And those of you that have taken it know it's kind of intense. But it's if you've taken it, it's quite interesting, it's quite different. So we're going to be in here at least 4 more times this cruise. We're going to be back in here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to be talking about taking photos with your device. So make sure you bring your device. And here's the cool thing. I'm going to know who was here today. We're going to get a lot bigger tomorrow, I can tell you. But I'm going to know who was here today because when I ask you to take a picture, guess how you're going to take it? You're going to take it sideways with your camera at the top. And then I'm going to know, hey, that person was in the class yesterday. And then I'm going to look at someone that's sitting right here that's taking a picture like this. I'm going to say, you missed the class yesterday. Bad for you, bad for you. Before I end, though, let me just check what else is in my jacket that I didn't show you yet. Oh, yeah. It's my magic wand. You'll see this later on, but this is actually from Amazon. I can take a product out of my refrigerator, scan it with the magic wand, and it'll be at my house the next day. Or out of, anywhere. Scan it with the magic wand. Oh, it's really cool. I mean, we don't talk about the credit card that goes on. We don't need to talk about that. That's imaginary. As my assistant says, he laughed at me the other day. I told him that I have a bank account with Wells Fargo, the American company that's been hacked, and he has a bank account with Bank of America. I go, yeah, but at least my account has money in it. So he laughed at me, and I told him, what else is here? There's a lot of stuff in here. That's nothing important. That's nothing important. But the last thing I'll show you about this is, you know, sometimes you're out in the port, and just so you know, there's about 40 pockets in this thing, including a screen cleaner, so you know your phone's a little dirty. Not only a screen cleaner, but it's also a map to all the pockets.
Oh, cute. Is that
Story
a Scott
for another-
vest?
This is a Scotty vest, of course it is. And it's one of the older Scotty vests, and one of the cool things is it has sleeves that attach magnetically. And I can make you a guarantee, if you get this vest, you will not be able to get in your cabin because your room key will get demagnetized every 10 seconds when you're anywhere near this vest. Plus, if you have a pacemaker, it will be the last vest you ever need. So, I wonder why. It's because everything's magnetic and held on magnetically. There's a lot of cool tech actually in this vest. They built this vest back in the day of wired headphones. So it's got a way for you to wire your head. I don't believe in that.
Got
So
a
I use
jacket
wireless
like
headphones.
that.
You have a jacket like that. So what we're going to be talking about the next time we meet tomorrow is all about the camera, including the brand new camera in the iPhone 8 Plus, and something I was told not to show you, but I'll show you real quick. I want to show you one of the coolest things this does. I'm going to take your picture real quick. I'm going to give you a fancy picture. You have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give this to you on your iPhone later on. This is so cool. You know how they take the fancy portrait pictures that are in black and white and everything like that? With the new iPhone, I can actually do that directly on my phone. Take a look at what I'm about to do. Smile. You want to actually make a good picture. It's going to analyze the picture. It's going to use all the processing power in the iPhone. And I get stage lighting, everything like that, perfectly. Now, that is not a perfect scenario, but I'll show you some. I've been taking pictures since last night of some of the officers around the ship. They're going to kill me that I show you this. But these were taken with a cell phone. I think it's really cool. So tomorrow's class is called The Camera You Always Have With You, which is obviously your phone or your tablet. So we're going to focus on how to make the best use out of the camera that you always have with you. That's going to be in here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We do not get into Lisbon until 4 o'clock. So if you are not on board for the class, something has gone terribly wrong. And then we're going to be back later on in the cruise on the sea days. We're going to have a lot of classes in here. I have a feeling, just a slight feeling, we're not going to be in here much longer. So we're probably going to go next door. So keep a lookout for what's going on. Because we always, by the second class, we feel central. And then we move to the theater. So keep a lookout after that. And then we're going to have some smaller classes in the iLounge. I'll have the information on that after Lisbon, so you can see what's going on there. For today, my name's Richard. We've talked a little bit of tech. And one more thing I want to add. Hold on. There's one more class I'm going to add because I am portmanned in Tenerife. What that means is I have to stay on board and be in charge in case something goes wrong, so get off the ship. No. But in Tenerife, we're going to do something called Tech Tea Time, where we're just going to come in and you can ask some questions. It's going to be like 4:30 in the afternoon, right around normal tea time. So if you happen to be back on the ship, it'll be in here. It's something cool I'm going to add, and you'll see that. That's something that I'm just adding this cruise. So it'll be a lot of fun. Elsewise, my name's Richard. This has been Let's Talk Tech. I'll see you next time. Bye!